Hello guys, so I was asked to do an Erica review. So very first thing, if you're not mono Andor, this player isn't for you. I'm just gonna say it right out of the gate. That is the only reason that you'd be running her. So what is Erica? Erica is basically a very resistant backline player with self-healing. Now, she should never be in the mid line either, and the best idea is to place her facing the striker. Now, I know this isn't the best setup because she doesn't have any bonus on the left and she has a really good bonus on the right. So that's why you're actually going to try to buff her as best you can with your stone. So in the worst case scenario, she can actually be used as a stealer. So let's get right into her skills. Very first thing you need to know is she has some great DR through her skills. So her power up is actually pretty cool. So I would advise going straight for it. Increase pass effect by 40% for 10 minutes and decrease the inflicted damage by 20%. So that's actually pretty nice. Again, I just want to point out she has a defender mentality, so it's increased defense, recovery power, and the inflicted damage received when being attacked on top of it. So that's also a bonus DR, plus it means she's not going to be suicidal. Now, pass effect, decreased damage, it doesn't cost that much. I would advise using that. Now, the reason why you actually want her is increase max hype of Andor players inside the team by 20%. This is actually a pretty decent buff, especially since Andor can have some people like Lucian, Angela. Those are both goalkeepers who would really benefit from this. Plus, it really doesn't hurt an Andor team, and it's also going to buff her too, so it's really not a loss, and I would really advise using it, because that's basically the point of this player. Now, she does have this really cool skill that's going to recover 20% of hype when attacked. Sadly, she's going to be much less resistant in PvP, while in PvE, this skill is going to be much more valuable. Now, of course, you need to know that this is a problem for everyone, so that's kind of sad. But yeah, that's basically her inconvenience. Now, the last skill is actually very nice. Increase pass effect 40%, reflex 30%, and decrease incoming damage 30%. So if it was really up to me, I would say you'd start by getting this, because it's the reason why you're getting her. Then you go for this one. And then I would say really going for the active makes more sense than just going for this one, because it's just going to be some DR, and in PvP it's not going to be as nice. Plus, usually you have a Lucian goalkeeper who's going to be basically giving her the heal anyway. Plus, you're going to be able to go to 3 stacks, and you're just losing 3% of heal in PvP and 6 in PvE. It's much better to have the active who's going to give her DR. And that bonus pass effect, who I don't understand why it's there, but just in case she's highly damaged, she has a lot of value in pass. Now, on a stone level, she doesn't have the greatest stones. If she had like a dark stone, it would be magical. So, of course, as I'm going to say, rolling a dark stone is the coolest thing you could do. Sadly, you can't do that, so you're not going to get as much as a buff. But it can still be neglectable as a loss. But I'm always going to say rolling the dark is going to be best. So what are her options? So she only has currently Andor and Light. So when you're going to be looking at a stone level, for the prime slot, this is the new rule. You usually either go, it's not a goalkeeper, so you have 2 options. Dark hype, because it's going to give decreased inflicted damage, and it's going to give you life, and she heals. Plus, Andor is known for that. Or you can go for Andor Reflex. Depends how often you find that she gets attacked, and if she's got enough critical resistance, because you can go for a bit more. Then in one of the Andor slots, you're going to throw another Reflex, because, well, as always, they need Reflex. And for the second slot, I would usually say go for a nice decrease inflicted damage. It gives her recovery. That just, it's not that great, but that means that if she ever dies, when she revives, she has much more life. It again can't really hurt. Now on the light level, that's a little bit more complicated. First of all, there isn't any great stone for her to get before there's an evolution. I would say go for the life to increase the recovery power because you already got the DR. Or you could go for the DR for the action bar, but it's better that she doesn't act because she wasn't really built for it. So again, go for the life. Now what you want to do as fast as you can is get an Urmulation, but you're going to notice pretty fast that Urmulation is not going to work in the current meta because now strikers are going to be even more based on critical damage with SOB, and they're going to have decreased inflicted damage. So again, a bit of critical resistance and a bit of life is just no longer going to cut it. So it's actually gone to a point that throwing Paradise of Light is going to be more valuable because it's going to give her more max hype, and she's going to gain attack power. Ignore the second passive. It's just going to help when you're starting to build her. But this is actually going to be better because she's going to be a more all-round player. So if I were to say, fast forward what the build would be, it would be something like Andor Reflex, Andor Decrease Inflicted Damage, where is it here? Paradise of Light, and then this would really be on your personal taste, Andor Reflex again, or a Dark Hype. Now, of course, if you reroll, changing one of the Andors to Dark to put this would give a bonus, because the decrease is basically the same, except she'd get a bit more life. Now, let's go back to a chain level. I actually own this one, so that's easier because I can kind of show you the chains. I'm actually planning to eventually build her when I'm going to be trying to do the Mono Andor COT matches, and she's going to be really good in those. So first of all, we have this chain. I'm pretty sure this rival is going to be coming up soon because it's been a really long time. But again, it's not a great chain. It's just for the Dimension Stones. Now Victoria. That is the best Andor chain ever because, well, Victoria is basically everywhere. And the chances of you not using her are microscopic. So I'm just awaiting her to be on your team. And I would be shocked if you're running an Erica and you don't have a Victoria. Now, the rival chains are extremely bad, and this, I can't imagine this would ever activate. So basically, the only thing that matters is she's going to have a friendship chain. It's pretty sad. She could have gotten maybe a better chain somewhere, but that's all she's going to get. On a skin level, I do find her E kind of cool. The difference between her regular version and her Evo is actually pretty nice. Doesn't have any special skins, but the art on her is cool, so I'm not actually going to be complaining on that one. For her team formation, as always, it should be an Andor formation. She's going to have a huge gain if you're running her with a Lucian goalkeeper, because when you're shooting, it's going to give her a double healing, who's going to be really cool. 7-starring her isn't that big of a problem because she shouldn't be truly reflex-based, and the main idea, as always, is for her to get shot at. You do want to be careful that her buffs are only on the right and on the left side, so she will get extremely weak if you're moving her to the left. On a backline, players that will usually have a decent amount of synergy with her are going to be players that increase life or decrease damage. I'm going to be thinking, of course, of a Yuri. I'm also going to be thinking of a Kevin. Those are basically the top 2 players you want to throw in with her. And again, she's supposed to be in a Mono Andor team. I can't really show you gameplay since I don't have one, but she can actually be pretty decent. As always, I'm not going to tell you to use her as a goalkeeper. I don't know why she gets a bonus there. Do not do that, ever. I hope this helps you understand her value. She's in a bunch of change, but I just really wanted to talk about her own. So again, if you like the video, subscribe. If you have any question or any opinion, comment. And of course, if I made a little mistake somewhere and you want to criticize, like certain people who like to do that, do it too. Have a good day, guys.